Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Cureton, Senior Journalist from XR Today. As always, bringing you the latest and greatest from the VR, AR, and XR industries. Today, we're going to be speaking to an amazing person that's going to be for today's episode. We have on David Moreno from Virtualware. It's a pleasure to see you today. Tell us what you do in Virtualware, David, and what exactly it is that you do for your role, and what's going on with Virtualware these days.
I'm David Moreno. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer in the company. I've been here for 18 years. So Virtualware, it's a 2 decades, 20-year experience company in the B2B business, enterprise VR mainly. So we started like in 2004, creating on-demand solutions for construction. Then we moved to tourism and heritage, healthcare, education, and then industry. We work today with main and large corporations in the energy industry, aerospace, government and defense, transportation, and higher education mainly. A couple of years ago, we came up with a platform which is called VIROO, and that's our flagship product today. Mainly because we think that that's the perfect way to accelerate VR adoption in the enterprise. Okay, so we moved from a strategy of creating on-demand projects, specific projects for the specific needs of corporations, to just give them a platform so they can even create their own content and deploy VR in an easy way. So today, our main business is what we call VR as a service, which is VIROO, subscription-based model, just bringing enterprise VR easier for corporations worldwide.
That's brilliant. And speaking of VIROO, which is something that we've been chatting about a little bit over the last few weeks, you recently were able to use that to secure a contract with like a major US energy client. So for you, when you decided to, I guess, work with your clients or something, how do you actually find the right metrics or the right things that you need to do in order to tailor their software and the curriculum for them?
Well, initially for the energy company, it's mainly the use case and it's training. And in training, it's in complex scenarios, like the complex scenarios that you can find in an energy corporation that they need to be trained. VR adds a lot of value. I mean, replicated scenarios that they can't replicate in real. So they can be trained in those scenarios, and if that happens in reality, they are prepared for them. And actually, VR adds, effectiveness, so they can be more efficient. You can train more people. You don't need to bring, people to one location to be trained. So you reduce all those kind of expenses. So what we try with VIROO, it's make those things easier. And one of the key features of our platform is the deployment of in large-scale multi-user scenarios. So you can be, in a virtual reality space, you can move around and you can be trained like in reality, very close to reality. And with this energy company, it's a 5-year deal, multi-year deal, 7-figure contract. I mean, for us, it's a commitment of this energy company in the long term, having that strategy to implement VR. So they understood the value of VR and they bet on VR for all the VR initiatives in training. So they see like all those metrics add value to them, and we try to provide all that value through our VR platform, VIROO.
Excellent. And we've seen so many things happening in VR space, especially with training and upskilling, trying to meet those, needs for a lot of different enterprises so that they can meet the skill shortage challenge that's been taking place across a lot of parts of the world.
Actually, regarding upskilling, there is always a problem of, how I can train my people in complex scenarios so they can be more efficient. And on the other side, the kind of financial and logistical things, how I can move, everybody, worldwide to different locations because I have my specific facility in one location, how I can move everybody there. Then regarding financing those expenses, so with virtual reality, you can definitely have unlimited time with people training, and it can be trained remotely. One of the functionalities of VIROO is that remote collaboration capability. So you can be the instructor and you can be in one place in the US, and they can be trained, your trainees, in the other part of the world. And you can see what they are seeing and you can coach them and teach them. So, the process is quite fast. And for them, that's real value, definitely, for upskilling.
Absolutely, yeah. And so you mentioned things about adding value to a person's company or a brand or a business enterprise and so on. So what are some of the kinds of return on investment that you have seen linked to this type of scenario? So you deploy your service, the VR as a service kind of tool actually brings back kind of investments and types of monies that they can save in the long term. Could you give us a little bit more information about that?
Yes, I've been talking about this return of investment. Clearly, it's cost. Reduce that travel expenses. Then that return of investment that your people are better trained. So internally, they are more efficient because they can replicate different scenarios that you can even replicate in reality, and you can train more people with more time. So they will be better prepared. And the other thing, which is quite important, and actually for these energy corporations, that they are building a product, and they can build a product and offer that product to their customers. So they can offer all the detailed services to the customers so they can be more competitive, and they can have a big difference with the other competitors that they may have. So they can offer a solution so their customers can be trained as well. And that's a return of investment, even in generating a new revenue stream that maybe they didn't have that in mind, because they have before first try that internally, think this is a value thing for the industry, so we can offer that to the industry and we can have that return on investment as a new revenue stream. That could be another possibility. That's why this contract is quite, and this energy company is quite pioneering in this, not only in the long-term success, because you're not going to find so many companies like a multi-year deal that apply in VR internally, in this case in training, all the VR related initiatives in training. But even the idea of them creating a product for the industry and even be more competitive and make their customers more competitive in the industry as well. Dimon, you are in mute. Sorry.
So sorry about that. Okay, you
can start with the next question and we can edit here. So
yeah, I'm marking that. So we'll go back. 3, 2, 1. All right. So yeah, that's lovely. I mean, you have basically about 40 different companies across Europe that you've been working with to talk about the efficiency of VR solutions, and this allows you to expand your solution globally, and it allows you to give more and more use cases related to VR training. So for you, what does this kind of show as kind of like a testament to the VIROO platform? And also, how can you show that VR training is an applicable solution for many, many different types of industry verticals?
I mean, this is just an example, this energy company contract. This is about, replicating complex scenarios and have a place where you can train. You can really be a very realistic training with multiple people involved. So imagine, in the main energy industry, you can have oil and gas, renewable, or if you go to transportation, you need to train your people in automotive industry. I mean, it's the same concept. So the use case for training is quite clear. And I think most, immersive corporations are applying their tools and their solutions for training, but you have other use cases. For instance, for review design, you have a new product, a new asset that you are building, how you review that design. With virtual reality, that multi-user kind of collaboration thing, you can have people located in different places where they can even see things, understand, the dimensions, the wide, the tall, where, things are located, and better understands like complex data. So you can iterate quite fast. And that process of the redesign, you can reduce the time. So you can put, your product in the market faster. And you can reduce the errors, even reducing that, the need to build physical replicas, because you've done that review design in virtual reality, which is like having a digital replica, a digital twin of your asset. You can visualize and interact and you really experience the design using virtual reality. And in our case with VIROO, we make that easy. to bring your CAD file or related file into VR and then deploy that in a multi-user remote collaboration large-scale experience. So bringing your assets like you do or you did in the past, having that physical replica, and you are reducing of the cost of even creating those physical replicas. So that's another use case, and that's in the industry because, for instance, we work a lot in higher education with universities and vocational training centers. They are normally quite relate quite close to the industry, and they train their students for the industry, so they can have the latest assets that the students are going to use in regards of tools and in regards of assets that are going to manipulate in the industry previously to be in the industry. Bringing those specific assets into VR and be taught using those assets. And a key thing, for instance, in education, it's the possibility of creating their own content. That's another key feature of VIROO. You can create your own content. This is one of the things that we thought a couple of years ago when we came with the platform, just bringing that creation capability easier for companies and institutions that even they don't have that knowledge, those skills of programming. Today we have teachers creating content for their students with just 4 or 5 hour let's say training, and for them that's key, having that possibility. So I think there are many other use cases and many industries that can benefit from virtual reality, but we're still in the early stages. I think in the article I mentioned, the train left the station, it is not coming back. We are still in the early stages, but this energy company, multi-year 7-figure thing, it's one of the things that could really boost all the corporations that saying, hey, this is a long-term commitment for the large corporations. Hey, that could be me. So if they are betting on this, on VR-related initiatives for training and even other use cases, I can do so. So this is, the kind of deal that can push a little bit more the tech industry and the corporation and, the acceleration of immersive technologies in the enterprise.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we've seen so many different kinds of industry verticals, jumping on this and, being able to show real benefit and real value from the use of virtual reality training. And one of the things that we noticed about it, you also mentioned about generative AI, which allows people to, create low code or no code, solutions for their end users. And this is speeding up everything, time to market, speeding up the ability to train, to get the skills in as quickly as possible. And then additionally, we see a lot of people in this industry, also showing that there's a lot more engagement when they do certain things like VR training compared
Definitely.
to just watch a
Definitely,
video.
we work a lot with training and learning managers, and engagement, it's a key. And they say, this is fun. I mean, and fun, it's good because they're engaging more people, and in some complex industries, engaging is key because they are bored. I mean, just having this PowerPoint presentation, understanding a little bit, but not having these hands-on trainings. So they are actually, they are getting that engagement and having very good reviews from the trainees, and they would like to have more, even more, in this case, training and other processes using virtual reality. Definitely.
Absolutely. So yeah, I guess one of the last things I wanted to ask you about, because we are looking at a lot of the different, predictions or things that will happen or take place in the near future. And one of the things we wanted to know is, what do you see taking place in VR training in the next 5-10 years, or at least maybe even in 2024? So we have a lot of headsets coming out, Metaverse 3, we have the Apple Vision Pro set to come out. And do you think there are any other kind of, other promising things that will take place in the market, things that may potentially help VR training to, expand its adoption rates?
I would say that, you mentioned headset, the evolution of the technology. I mean, we every year have a new headset with new capabilities. So, for instance, we have integrated in VIROO mixed reality capabilities thanks to the new headset, the XR Elite from HTC Vive, Pico for Enterprise, or even Meta Quest 3. So you can add functionalities that can add value for different use cases. Then we talk about Wi-Fi. 6, 7, that evolution of the internet can help us bring VR training or VR into corporations. And I would say, definitely next year we will see more companies, still early stages, but we will see more companies starting to implement VR in the enterprise. I would love to see in 5 years from now, more. Definitely, I think, I don't know to what extent, but more companies and more institutions are going to start using virtual reality and immersive technologies, combined with other technologies in the enterprise, but still they need to see that this adds value. And I think one important thing here, this is not about technology anymore. I mean, it's not expensive, it's not difficult. It's about, again, change in a company. It's about time. Who is going to lead this? I think now you can't say, hey, this is expensive, this is difficult. No, it's more who is going to implement this, who is going to lead this. And they will need that team, they will need a little bit of time to make that happen in the enterprise. And that, I think that it's not easy, but I think it's easier. So if you find the proper person, the champion there internally, corporations and institutions can make this happen, and it really adds value. So definitely, I think we will see more companies incorporation via, or mixed reality into the different processes.
Brilliant. Excellent conversation. And thanks so much for those insights. I really appreciate it. So once again, everyone, we've been speaking to David Moreno. He is the Chief Marketing Officer for Virtualware. And there's been a lot of updates taking place across the news. So if you'd like to follow those, please go to xrtoday.com to find out what those are. It's brilliant. My name is Cureton, Senior Journalist from XR Today. And if you want to follow more conversations like this, please do so at the XR News hashtag on Twitter, LinkedIn. And that's pretty much it for today. Thanks so much for joining. We appreciate your time. And until next time, keep following the news. Bye now.